In today's video, we'll be doing a beauty makeup. My name is Ricky Greenwell, and my model for today is Lexi. So as always, I start off my makeup application by doing a foundation coverage to my model's skin. So it's important that I just pick the proper foundation for your model, paying attention to undertones. Here I'm just starting on the lids of the eye and into the eye area, where I'm using just a slightly lighter tone. And what I'm doing with that is, my intent is to use that as a base layer and a eyeshadow prep. Here you can see I'm actually contouring the face with a darker tone. So I'm going into the jawline and into the cheeks to create some contour with my makeup application. So my methodology or my approach to application is using a multi-tonal approach to my makeup application. So contouring with a slightly darker foundation and using a highlighted foundation across the bridge of the nose, the eyelids, under the eye area, right underneath the nose to the lip bridge, and to the chin. Now I'm just utilizing my beauty blender to go ahead and blend all of my various shades together. So blending with my highlights and my lowlights as I'm working across the face. And as I'm working, I am moving my beauty blender or rotating my blender so that I have a highlighted portion of the blender, as well as a area that has my low light or my shading colors. Now I'm just going in and using a clean brush to reinforce any of my shape and contour. I'm kind of fanning out any of my blending that I may need to do beyond that of my with the blender brush. So I'm just kind of using a foundation brush just to kind of smooth out the appearance of my makeup application. Now I'm just using a little bit of contour to bring out the nose a little bit more. So here's just going in with a little bit of that shading product, going along the bridge of the nose to contour and shape the nose. Now I'm just using the warmth of my hands to just make sure that, once again, I'm kind of smoothing out. I'm looking for an evenness to my foundation application and just making sure I don't have any demarcation lines left from sponges or my application from the brushes or anything like that. It's just a matter of making sure that everything has a nice uniform blend. Now I'm using a powder puff that's been loaded to just fully set the foundation in place. So my goal here is just make sure that my foundation is set and that I have a uniform coverage to my application. Anytime you're working with cream products, it's important to just take a moment to set it, be it you using a loose powder, a setting powder, a powder puff, powder brush, whatever your particular skin's need is. But anytime you're using a cream product, you have to make sure that you are taking the time and setting your foundation. If you're going to be working in the television and film or in the stage industries, a powder puff is an ideal tool to use for this, because you can put a lot of powder into the face because it's going to help you sustain long working conditions under hot stage lights. Now I'm going through with just a contour powder and a contour brush just to accent the jawline a little bit more. I'm looking for to create a little bit of roundness to the face, or to conceal some of those some of the jawline with some contour powder just to strengthen that jawline. And I'm taking it into the cheek as well. I'm adding a little contour just underneath the chin area. Now I'm adding a highlight to the chin, doing a highlight across the bridge of the nose and breaking up that plane that is the nose to the brow forehead plane. And here you can see I'm kind of pinching my brush together to help create a little bit of shape or contour. So I'm using, the given shape of the brush and applying powder where I'm wanting it on the skin. I'm also adding a little bit of highlight powder right to the hairline just to bring out the shape of the forehead. Adding a little powder to the temples. Now I'm adding a highlight on top of my contour piece from the apple of the cheek, taking it into the hairline. So I have a highlight on top of the cheek. I have contour below the cheek. This will allow to give me shape and dimension, before I add any of my blush color. So now I have a highlight powder, low light powder, and then I will add a contour, further contour by adding a color contour layer. Now I'm moving to the brows. First I'm starting to shape the brows to see what Lexi's natural shape is, utilizing just a clean brow comb, kind of shaping and combing the brows into place before my makeup application. Now that I've examined the brows, I'm going to go ahead and fill in with any area that I feel needs just a little bit more fill, utilizing an angled brush, a little bit of a brow powder, to fill and bring in a uniform shape and evenness to the brows. After filling and shaping the brows, I'm simply using my same brow comb to continue to further groom the brow, but also using that brush side to just kind of rake through and make sure that I don't have any excess product that may be touching the skin, and this allows me to just pull off any extra powder that I may not visually be pleased with in the application. So my method is to do a little bit of a darker brow, knowing that I'm going to kind of rake through and make it a little softer with my brow comb. Now I'm adding shadow to the crease of Lexi's lid. Here I'm just using a darker tone, and I'm using a shadow poof kind of brush to add contour to the lid. So I take it all the way across the crease of the eye, and then I kind of pull it into the eye, onto the eyelid itself. So I'm using it as both a liner, as far as shadow product is concerned, as well as a crease contour. I'm now actually working with a fluffier or fuller brow brush, and I'm going over it with a slightly deeper plum color, just to give me a little bit more shape and depth to the crease, and also to just kind of break up that line. So now here what I'm trying to do is actually smoke out my color, just utilizing a slightly deeper shade. So the first was to give me some depth and contour to help me establish my shape. This is just a matter of kind of blending colors together to create depth and contour to Lexi's eyes. I'm now just using a large poof brush just to clean out any fallout that may have happened with my shadow. Now I'm going in with a lighter tone that's hitting right on where the pupil of the eye would be, to bring me a solid spot or a highlight to this kind of smoky look, so that when Lexi is opening and closing her eyes, that we get this nice pop of highlight color around this purple plum shade to the lids itself. I'm also adding a little bit of that highlight above my crease color, so I'm adding a little bit of a brow highlight to my shadow. I'm asking Lexi to look up, and I'm just adding a little bit of highlight to the inner corner of the eye, and also dragging that highlight underneath the eye to give me a lash line definition. Here I'm just using Q-tip to clean up any fallout that happened underneath the eyes. The Q-tips are soaked in a little bit of makeup remover, which will mean that I'll need to go in and do a little bit of touch-up on the skin area for my makeup as well. Now I'm just going back in with my beauty blender, just adjusting any of that correction that I needed to do from the eye fallout area. Now I'm just going in with a pencil. This is kind of a green tone, just to add a little bit of accent of color, or a little bit more pop of color to my smoky eye. I'm applying it across the top of the lid, and then the outer 3/4 length underneath the lid of the eye itself. Now I'm applying mascara, starting with my lower lashes, asking Lexi to look up. With my spoolie, I'm just simply applying mascara across the lower lashes, and then I tend to use a zigzag and or rolling motion. So here I'm going to roll across the top of the lashes. This will help clean up any fallout that may actually occur from the mascara, and then I'm going to go underneath the lashes with my spoolie and do a little bit of a zigzag motion. So I'm kind of doing a little bit of curl as I roll my lashes, and then I'm actually pumping more mascara into the lashes underneath. So it's a little bit of a twofold process. So curl and roll to begin with on the top of the lashes, and then add more mascara underneath the lashes and making the lashes fuller. Now I'm moving to the lips of Lexi, and I'm utilizing a lip pencil to define the shape of Lexi's lips. Here I'm kind of actually working from the outer corners, moving my way into the inside of the lips. And then I'm also kind of filling the lips. You're going to see that I'm actually dragging my pencil across the lips itself. This is a nice technique for longer wear of your application, but it's also going to give me a little bit more contour. So I'm actually defining the shape of the lips. I'm filling the lips a little bit as I'm working with my pencil. So I'm utilizing the side of my pencil to fill the lips a little bit more. That will also give me a little bit more fullness with my lipstick so that I have that under shadow tone, and then I'll work with a lighter tone to give me some contour shape to the lip itself also. So now I'm taking just my light highlight and dragging it across my lip liner. So I'm doing a fill, but I'm also going to give the illusion of like shape contour by working with a glossier lip color that has a highlight to it. So I will see my undertones from my lip liner, and then my lipstick itself will then give me a nice pout appearance to the lips. Going through, just reinforcing some of that area where I'm wanting to see a little bit more shadow after the fact with my lip pencil. I'm actually adding just that hint of color to the cheeks. So I did all my contour work earlier. Now I'm actually just going through and adding my color to the apple of the cheeks, and then taking it up across my highlight, and then just a slight, ever so slightly into the temple. So now we have a finished makeup application. I'd like to thank Lexi today. It's my hope that you learned something with me today, and remember, if you believe it's possible, you can make it possible.